Hey Capricorn, welcome to Imperial Vera. I'm B. We're going to get into a reading for you today to find out what you need to know at this time. If you want info on personalized readings for you or to contact me, the information is in the description box below, okay? So as I was channeling, I got a message that you need to know what needs healed, because there's a need to self-reflect, heal some old wounds, take accountability maybe for someone. Obviously, this is not... Everything is not going to pertain to everyone. So somebody needs to take accountability. Somebody's using work as an escape. So it's like, face what's been done. It's giving me like always finding excuses to work, or almost like doing extra things, or I just heard lying, saying you have to work, but you're not working. I guess maybe going off and doing other things instead of that. It's giving me kind of like, for whoever this pertains to, it's like skirting responsibilities, like family responsibilities, adult responsibilities, having to face the truth and take care, like stepping up to the plate, growing up, doing what you need to do. This is giving like always, I don't know, it's almost like making excuses and acting like it's not you, it's somebody else, You've just been working. How can you be the problem? That's for someone. That's obviously a very specific message, but there's another message about like how you appear is not important. There needs to be a focus on being present wherever you are and always staying your true authentic self. Okay. Something about shit. Yeah. There's a need for some deep reflection, going within. Something about like, paying the piper, facing harsh truths. It's like, I don't know, escaping, or there's some kind of escaping reality. Something about appearances, superficiality, kind of showing up to appear to be a certain way. I don't know. Somebody's like burying things instead of dealing with things. Yeah. I don't know. So anyway, I got some relevant oracle decks to use. And we're just going to get right into it. Okay. And find out what you need to know to move forward. It feels like there's some kind of blockage or blessings, or there's some ignoring of something, okay, that is, it feels like it's holding you back. That's not, it's like not allowing you to reach your full potential, but it's blocking blessings. And this feels like if it continues, something's going to, I don't know, like can either be frozen, stagnant, and there's not going to be forward movement, and you're going to like start facing losses or something. I don't know exactly, but that's kind of like the type of messages and what I'm seeing. Because it feels like there's a stoicism in this energy. And that's, when I tapped into your energy, it felt very cold, very blank, very almost a stubborn, stiff energy, like stuffy almost. Like me, I'm perfect. Sure, I've made some mistakes, but nothing terrible. But that's not, there's something here that there's no stopping to look at how our behaviors are really affecting ourselves and other people. There's something about like the ripple effect, how things, this is giving like brutal, like this is giving like cold, distant, not caring who we have to step on or who we have to hurt, always justifying whatever we do. Yeah. Ooh, I don't know. Okay. Anyway, Capricorn, we gonna see. Face what? Oh my gosh, Cap, I can't. Restore mind, body, and spirit. True healing happens when you align and you reconnect with your essence and choose wisely. Every choice matters. So choosing with intention to make sure that when you do, you're making the right choices. And that's how you can ensure that your future aligns with your soul's purpose, which is the whole reason why we're here. So that's what it's giving me. And then on the bottom of the deck, face what you've avoided. Avoidance is a chain in disguise. What you're not willing to face is still controlling you. Accept imperfection. Shatter the false story. Yeah. I couldn't have said it. It was like that's exactly what I was hearing. So that's crazy. But we're going to look at this first, because I have some other oracle cards, but I want to kind of go through and focus on one thing at a time to help. Okay. So let's see. How is this affecting? We're going to see how this is affecting your current life. How is it affecting current life? Okay. It looks like you, oh, yeah. You just kind of drop, this looks like you just drop things, leave them, ghost a situation, and move on. And it looks like you're kind of working, waiting for almost like, when do the blessings come in? Everything that I've been working for, when does it happen? And it feels like you've kind of, you've got like your walls up, very defensive, like not, this is giving like unapproachable. Like if someone, this is giving like if somebody comes to you and they want to talk to you about maybe something that's going on or something they have some concerns with, you seem very unapproachable. And it's got others around you. I mean, it's messing with their mental health. It's causing a lot of anxiety for others. It could have others like tiptoeing around you, not really sure what they can say and what they can't say because they get a different version of you. So it's like, if you're not going to tell me how amazing I am, I don't want to hear anything. You know what I mean? And obviously, I'm not trying to be rude. I'm trying to help. I mean, that's why we're here, right? But sometimes the brutal truth can hurt, I mean, trust me, I know. I'm not a saint. I had to go through these lessons too. But I'm getting like it feels like almost like a thief in the night. Like you try to Irish goodbye, ghost, just disappear. And people are like, and that's it. It's like you leave it there, you never go back. But the problem is you're not stopping to reflect. And it feels like others have tried to show you or tell you and almost want to talk to you, but you don't. You completely turn your head away from it. There is no self-reflecting. There's no pausing to go into solitude. It's just, no healing. Something happens, you're done, you move on, and it's like immediate putting everything into work or just working on something and expecting some kind of return. So you're walking away from things, and with the Eight of Cups, it's giving like walking away from things. Those cups are full. You completely turned your back on them and walked away. It's like you aren't looking at the emotions. You aren't looking at the emotions of others. It doesn't matter. How other people feel is of no concern. And it's like, yeah, whatever that was, I'm closing the door. I'm done. I'm good. I don't need to carry this with me. I told you, it's like this stoic energy, and it's a very quick cutoff. And it feels like you've been, working, waiting to see, investing, waiting to see if like, okay, well, I left that behind and now I'm a brand new person. I'm going to invest in this. I'm investing, and I'm pausing every so often to be like, when is this coming in? And nothing is. It's getting you to be very like, this is ridiculous. What's going on? And it feels like Spirit's trying to kind of call out to you, shine a light, like, hey, we're trying to show you something. You need to pause, you need to reflect. We are trying to show you, you didn't leave those emotions back there. They're still there. You're just building them up. And then you're stacking more stuff on top of it. And you're expecting things to be kosher, things to be good. But do you see, this is giving me like when you stuff emotions down so much that eventually it feels like it's all the way up and it's stuffed to the top of your throat, and it's like, I can't take any more. Do you see how you just keep building stuff up? And it's causing walls to go up. It's causing a lot of wounding, very guarded energy, a very defensive energy, like not letting anybody in. They can only see what you want them to see, right? This is not only causing you anxiety, maybe sleepless nights. It could be giving you, nightmares even, but it's not so comfy to other people, okay? But yeah, face what you've avoided. Avoidance is a chain in disguise. This is the chain. Look at that. It's just like, and you're just, it's weighing on you. It's a lot. And with all those walls up, nobody can talk to you. Nobody can get to you. And it's affecting you. It's having an effect on like overall physical health, overall mental health. This is having an effect on things that you invest in. What needs learned so healing can occur? Well, that's a lot of Wand and Pentacle energy. Yeah, man. Ooh, you are guarded. You're closed off from receiving blessings. You're closed off from like vitality. This is giving how things appear. The Nine of Pentacles. There's a superficiality, feeling like I have to look a certain way. I always have to have a sunny disposition, be optimistic. Everything needs to look like sunshine and rainbows. Everything's good here. We're kosher. No problems. No problems whatsoever. And it's giving the people around you, like there's an opportunity. Man, it's kind of giving, I hate to say it, Capricorn, but this is giving like opportunistic feelings. Seeing other people as opportunities. Almost like trying to keep up with the Joneses. So you go for what's flashy. What's the next best thing? What's the flashy thing? How do I appear? What will the neighbors think? How do things look? And it's giving kind of something feels, I don't know if it's generational necessarily, but something feels related to childhood, early childhood, growing up, maybe where you grew up or how your parents were, how they expected you to be or express yourself, how they chose to appear to other people. Was there authenticity or was it, we don't talk about that? We don't cry. We don't show emotion. It happened. We're moving on. We don't talk about that. Like everything is fine. There's like a stoic, it feels like a cold surface level, never fully allowing people to come in. You're missing out on things. You're missing out on true deep connections. You're missing out on opportunities, on stability, because there's so much guarding. You are blocking your own blessings. Basically, that's the moral of the story. You're blocking your own blessings because it's like you're not really going for what's truly aligned for you. You're going for what gives you the most reward, what's going to look the best, how everybody else is going to see, am I going to fit in, and making sure that I always look like I'm A-okay and super sunny. Okay. All right. So what can they do to switch that around here? What can we do to switch that around? Oh, wow. Well, there is this. Wow. Oh, my gosh. Wow. What can you do to switch this around? Learning these lessons and healing what needs healed. Holy smokes. The Emperor, the World, King of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles, the Empress with the Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. That is wild. That is wild. That is a strong line. Well, there's this. The Emperor is giving me, wow. An Emperor is not really worried about emotions. An Emperor is worried about stability, structure, authority, ruling over things, being the top dog. The Emperor is, he can be quite stoic, but it's control, authority, being the boss, and there's not a lot of, this is giving me flat. It's just very flat. It's almost like decisions are made. Emotion is not taken into consideration. It's like emotion, shmotion. Who has time for that? We don't need that. And that needs to be like done. It needs to be like close this out. Stop like trying to be the ruler of things, or I can do this all myself. It has to be this way. It has to be very structured. It's a very authoritative, cold energy. That needs to stop. It needs to go into this nurturing, teamwork, practical, solid, nurturing, dependable energy. It's very healing. It's all earth. It's a very earthy energy. It's very grounded energy. But that's what creates healing and abundance. And that's how you end up getting into the Empress energy to where you are calling in abundance to you. And it's a very soft, I want to say like more open-minded, equality, warm energy. It feels very approachable. It feels very I work well with others. I welcome in constructive criticism. I recognize my strengths and my weaknesses. I recognize the strengths and the weaknesses of other people, and I help them as they help me. It's a very reciprocal type of energy, and it's like getting out of that strict roles. The man of the house does this, the woman of the house does this. The roles. This is giving, get out of the roles. There needs to be a blending, a meshing to where there are tasks that need to be done. A man doesn't specifically do this, a woman doesn't specifically do this. There needs to be more of a healing, nurturing, working together, creative type environment instead of that like root chakra, kind of like war militant, controlling type environment. We don't need to be in that. And it's a very healing energy. It's a very healing vibe energy too. It's very nurturing. Leads to a lot of compassion, love, and it's giving being more nurturing in how you approach things and healing. That energy that calls in the right people for you. It gets you into alignment, gets you into your heart space, out of that just strictly fire and earth energy, and it gets you more into a well-rounded energy. Because there's something about balancing out like the 10th house and the 7th house and the 4th house. So it's like you have to, and there's a lot of 9s here. I'm getting like, ending cycles, quitting old beliefs, expanding like your views, your thoughts, allowing other perspectives to come in. This is like embrace differences and allow someone, like if somebody's like, hey, I'm only bringing this up because I care. I've been there. I've been through this. This is like, allow that. Listen. There's a very patient, it wants to be like patient and grounded to where there's nurturing conversation, nurturing actions. We're making actions where it's for the best of everyone. It's giving like well-oiled machine. It's kind of giving the, what is that? Is it like the Waltons or something? I don't know, where like, it's like the big farmhouse and everybody has a job and they all get together and they work very well. And it's giving like a well-oiled machine. Everybody works together to do things that need done. And it feels like instead of the home being, and whether you're with someone or not, but it's like instead of that mindset, right, where it's like this is their job because they're a man or they're a woman, and then this is theirs because, they're the other. It's instead of being in that type of energy and trying to have everything just that's just how it is. It's more of an open, it's hard to explain. It's like going from being a drill sergeant to a hippie. I know that sounds very extreme, but that's how the energy feels. Because it feels like there's such a hardness and there's so many walls up. It's got like somebody's stuffed, like the chakras are not in alignment. There's a lot of junk. It needs cleared out. But that can't be cleared out until you recognize that you've been holding on to this authoritative type energy and kind of ruling with an iron fist. And I mean that, I don't mean that like, just going around barking orders. It's almost like I'm very guarded. I'm putting on a front, right? That I'm just cool, calm, and collected, and I'm super disciplined, and I got my shit together, and I'm doing this and that. But that's not how, that feels further from the truth. It doesn't even feel like that's how, now this is you or somebody else, okay? But that doesn't feel like this is how this person really feels. It's like they want attention. And not like they're seeking it. It's like they want attention in a good way. They want that nurturing behavior. They want somebody they can feel comfortable with and open up to. But it's like, almost like I'm afraid to, because I feel like I have to keep this persona going. And it feels like that's the exact thing that you need to stop doing. Because your persona is what we show to other people. And we should not be living and moving and expressing ourselves in ways to please others. Everything we are doing should be pleasing us, our true authentic self, like how we are meant to be here and meant to be showing up and showing our face to the world, being on our paths. It's like there needs to be some kind of I don't give a attitude, because somebody's giving way too many about pentacles and how they appear to other people. And I just want to say, in the very first card was the Eight of Cups. That is the walking away from emotions card. There are no more cups in this spread. None. That is like I can emotions. I feel nothing. I don't with those. If something gets too watery, I'm out, bro. And then you've got, what's hidden over here after you get into this very nurturing, practical, teamwork type energy, very reciprocal type relationships. I work with you, you work with me, we work well together. It's kind of like the you grow, I grow, we grow kind of mentality. And with the Empress, it's given the abundance, the creativity, the, it's very healthy. It's very kind of given like, maybe that's why I thought the Waltons, because it's kind of giving me farmhouse stuff. Like it's getting back to the basics. It's nurturing things in a very healthy manner instead of being so stoic. But then you've got the Queen of Cups on the bottom. That's what you end up giving out, these very good healing vibes. And it's like, oh, the heart space opens back up, because right now it's very closed off. Because there's so much, and it does seem like a lot stems from childhood, how we were raised, what we thought things were meant to look like growing up, right? We tend to, no matter what our parents tell us, it's like we don't listen to what they say. We end up mimicking, sometimes without even realizing it, we mimic what they did, how they showed up, how they responded to things, how they showed themselves to others. If they didn't really listen to what we had to say, if they didn't really show a lot of emotion, if they weren't super nurturing, open-minded and things like that, adaptable, flexible. If they weren't like that, chances are, unless you recognize that you don't want to be that and you focus really hard on not being that growing up, chances are we end up doing exactly as our parents did in our own way, right? But at the base, like that's what drives our decisions, how we move, our actions, how we show up with the people in our lives, and oftentimes with our own kids. And that's how you keep those karmic cycles going with all the crappy patterns, all the shit that creates generational traumas and going into adulthood, needing to start therapy right away because you got to do inner child healing. Or just going through life wondering why you always have trouble in relationships or this or that, and you're always hitting speed bumps, or always feeling like you're almost there or you're never quite satisfied. That's why. Because you're always searching for something. You wouldn't be searching for something if you were in your true heart space, in your true purpose, walking as your true authentic self. You wouldn't feel like you're missing something, And someone who walks away from emotions and just goes into, long-term relationships or diving into work and not really doing any reflecting, you do those types of things because you're searching for something. It's like you're always looking for the next thing that's going to appease your palate, give you that little endorphin hit, make you feel the butterflies, make you feel like the top dog or woman, on campus again. But that's going to wear away, and you're going to keep repeating those patterns. And you're going to keep hearing the same thing from your partners and your friends, or there's going to be a lot of just surface level. You don't really know people deep. You know a lot of general stuff that, let's face it, it's shit that you could go to their social media profiles and probably learn, It's like the deep questions. This is giving someone who doesn't really like to touch on those. Never really exposing oneself to another, never really fully opening up. Everything stays very practical, very focused on the earthly realm, material matters, fire and earth, that is giving like passionate, sexual energy type things and money. I don't give a about the cups. I don't care about emotions. Check that shit at the door because I ain't got time for it. It's like, ew, I don't want to touch it. But that is stifling you. It's hindering you. You're going down in pentacles. You started at the 7, you went to the 9, and then you went to 4. And it's like, because you don't realize by doing this and having to show up in certain ways and kind of being, I'm getting it, I'm going to say it, materialistic and opportunistic. And that is how you make your decisions. And by doing that, you are closing yourself off to true blessings. And you're always kind of feeling like it's not enough. It's just not enough. Well, it's not enough because you're not even living in your true self. You are not aligned with who you truly are. And it feels like because you've learned, I don't know, maybe it's like somebody was never made to, this is giving, with the Emperor there, this is giving, somebody's mimicking how they were brought up. And it's a very authoritarian, do as I say, not as I do, very controlling, very, I'm going to tell you something's not okay. I'm not going to explain why. I'm not going to provide nurturing. I'm not going to provide guidance, right? And no knocking anybody's parents. Hey, we all live and learn. We don't get manuals for this stuff, right? But it's like you have to, our job as parents is guidance. We get these tiny humans. We have no instruction manual. They have no instruction manual. They have no clue how to do anything. We didn't bring them here to raise tiny armies, right? We didn't bring them here to take out our frustrations on them or to get irritated with them or anything. We're trying to make the next generation better than ours, pass on all the wisdom, things that we've learned from our childhood, that we've, listened to, our elders talk about, pass it on to them so that they can do better. And try your best every day to nurture that, giving them structure, but explaining why something's not okay, and what would maybe be a better, choice, and including them in that, right? It's like including your kids, giving them choices, giving them options, letting them have a voice and listening to that instead of just shutting it down. That type of environment is very good for creating a nurturing environment. It's giving I'm getting like harvesting things, like reaping harvest. It's like it provides a lot of growth, something that I'm getting wheat, obviously. That's, very reaping what you sow and reaping rewards. And it's giving this is something that just keeps giving, and it nurtures and it kind of flows out, and it can be used for so many things. And it's very healthy. It's like the basis for everything. And once you start that, it just keeps going. And that kind of environment ends up paying for itself. You know what I'm saying? It's like it takes just basic stuff and doing the work, nurturing things, water. How do you nurture things? How do you get things to grow and be abundant? Water. That's the cup's energy. Emotions. You have to have that. You can't, if you're just all about order and structure and everything, well, then you're running a damn military. I mean, are we taking out countries here? That's kind of what this feels like. It's I don't know. It's very superficial feeling. It's very here's the theme, here's the plot, here's the actors, put on the show. It's very weird. Everybody has a role to play and we must show up in that role always. That's not, it's very plastic feeling. Everything is hidden, cloaked, shoved down. This is giving following everybody else, being like everybody else. It's very fucking cookie cutter, instead of choosing the road less traveled, being yourself, letting your freak flag fly and not giving a shit. I'm telling you. Well, that was way too many. So, and it feels oh my gosh. Inconsistency. This is people call you out on your bullshit. Right? Because excuses don't add up. Lies don't add up. The things that you do don't add up. What do you mean you were working, but then so-and-so said this? This is it's going to get to a point where you forget what you've said to people and you've got so many things to remember. You start picking up and everything in your life, it turns into one big catastrophic event that could have been avoided, And this is major crisis that could have been averted. Okay, this is giving, the warning for the iceberg comes into the Titanic and they ignored it. But if they would have jumped on it instead of passing it off like it was no big deal because they didn't want to cause an alarm, right? They needed everything to look a certain way. If they wouldn't have done that, that crisis could have possibly been averted, right? But they were too worried about how things looked. So we don't want to focus on that. No. Like put that under the rug. We don't want to pay attention to that warning. We don't want to deal with that stuff. But yeah, this is see what I said? Ghosting, that no contact zone. It is like turning your back on somebody and being done. Not opening up, shutting people out, forcing a distance between you and other people, using like stonewalling or the silent treatment, almost like as a form of empowerment. Like it makes you feel more powerful or like you're in control. It causes a ton of hurt, pain, trauma to other people. It affects their life. That trickles down, right? And then if y'all have kids, all of these things add up. It's a lasting effect. It's just like a fucking breeding zone for toxicity. And also when you do things like that, there really never is closure. And if there's not closure, then you still have those ties. It fucks up a lot of things. It gets things out of balance. It throws things off. It stagnates progress, and it creates a terrible energy, and our energy radiates to other people, into the things we do, everything. Muted, not moved on, hiding face, smiling, very surface level. Hey, how's it going? Oh yeah, what have you been up to? How's work? It's that type of conversation. And blocked AF. Look at, silent treatment, shut out and ghosted. I'm telling y'all. That's exactly what needs to be healed and needs to be stopped. Somebody's more worried about outward appearances and like being in charge, being the boss, and having authority, having the rule. This is like, I want to have the rule. I want to come out on top, not caring about anything. It's too stuffy, too disciplined. Let's see. Yes. This is giving like this opened up angelic energy. This is giving like temperance type energy. Your guides, this like your guides are kind of screaming at you. It feels like you've been seeing things. You've been getting, awakening, expansion. You've been receiving messages. Look at, this is giving a lot of Empress energy too. But it's time for your soul to expand beyond where you're at. You have to look within and realize this is giving a heavy accountability, communication, voicing these things, opening up, being vulnerable, and being you. Unapologetically, not who you think you should be. It's, if you ever thought, I can't say this to my parents, or I can't, look, if you are talking to relatives, friends, significant others, the same way that you talk to the people you work with, there's a problem. Because that's what I'm getting. You shouldn't be that. Yes, when we go to work, obviously we have to be professional. Some people, you have to be professional, show up a certain way, etc. When you're with your people, it shouldn't sound like you're talking to a coworker or one of your employees, or like you're in a fucking work meeting. Okay, it shouldn't sound like that. That's when you get, you get dirty, you get fun and fancy free, you get loose and be silly. That's living life and embracing, that creative energy, that water energy, that fun. That opens up expansion. It blossoms into beautiful things. And sometimes we don't realize that. We get so focused on appearances and money and what we think we are supposed to show up like. We get stuck and we blind ourselves. But this is giving somebody has anxiety, maybe insomnia, trouble sleeping. Okay, if you fidget a lot, if you have trouble falling asleep, if you have a lot of anxiety, headaches, nervousness. If you, bite your nails or shake your leg a lot, if you're very restless, if you have a hard time focusing, difficult time, maybe you have to take sleep aids, it's a hard time falling asleep. You get uncomfortable when somebody wants to talk about feelings. Yeah, this message is for you. It's like why? All of those things are happening for a reason. Your body's trying to tell you something, but you're not listening. It's not I've just always been anxious and nervous. No, we are not. We're not born that way. We're not like made to be that way. There's things that happen because a lot of that is repressed emotion that's manifesting itself in the physical. in our body. Our body is speaking to us. It's got stuff trapped. It's almost like if you imagine emotions being little tiny men and, just little beings inside of us, and they're all trapped. They're moving around. They're jumping. They want out. And that's like, because they're not at rest, you can't be at rest. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not, I know in the way that I'm saying it makes it sound like it's so simple. Just, it's not, But there's people who will listen. If it's not your family, there are people out there who actually want true, real relationships. They can give a shit less about the superficial. And there's tons of, even if you're not right away comfortable going to a therapist, if you are willing to be completely honest with yourself and do true reflection, you can find tons of, podcast, journal things, self-help workbooks, therapy workbooks, all kinds of stuff. And it helps, especially when you just, take baby steps and implement them and you'll start to see things open up for you, flourish for you, relationships getting deeper, you feeling more grounded, wholesome, the anxiety lessens, your sleep gets better. You're like, oh my goodness, like the weight goes away. Maybe you don't have as many headaches. Your back doesn't hurt as much. The pain between the shoulder blades lessens. Like you're not as tense. You're just like, holy shit. Like you don't realize how much you have trapped inside of you because you're not facing things. This is not for somebody who's stressed and overburdened because they have a lot of responsibility. This is for the person who genuinely takes emotion out of it. They pretend to have emotion, but they don't really, because at the root of things, what makes them upset is if they don't get what they want materialism, like materialistic wise, or if they don't have the money they want, if they don't have the freedom to go, constantly be doing stuff and appearing a certain way and having that status. If that's what upsets somebody, that's a problem. You know what I'm saying? It's like, well, I don't care that I hurt this person and this person and this person. Tears make me uncomfortable. But what really bothers me, is when I have to sit at home bored and I can't, order whatever I want and do whatever I want and go party here and go hang out there and have a boat like my buddies and, all that kind of stuff, whatever. Obviously, those are specific things, but if broaden your mind there, it's like, if you're like that, you're focused on the wrong things. And when you're focused on the wrong things, you're not going to get the blessings that you're supposed to get. We are here to all learn lessons, get on a journey, get on our path, and open up, the blessings that are due to us for this lifetime. And pass them on to the next, next generation. You can't do that, right? If you're focused in a shadow kind of devil energy, y'all, I'm telling, what I say, 44 and 22. Guys, fours can be significant, double numbers, love and bliss. Look at this carefree. And all that yellow, it's having fun. Letting loose and having fun. Look at the tree of life. It's like roots. But it's healthy things. We're going to get, what do y'all need to focus on here? Yeah. Being playful, going with the moment, allowing yourself to be happy and very, not childlike in a way that's immature, but really being present in the moment and feeling okay with being who you are, your true self. What makes that little kid inside of you smile. That's a very freeing, lightweight energy, no matter who you're around. It's like allowing that work persona to be turned off because you don't always have to be on. And the person that this reading is about is someone who's walking around with a mask on and trying to appear a certain way. It's like, and we're not meant to be like that. It's not how we are meant to be. We're meant to be in a very free, loving energy. And it's like, and this is this love here. This is giving the root of the problem. The root of the problem are deeply embedded, always looking for acceptance, always looking for what we didn't truly get as a kid. Growing up, right? I'm not knocking your parents. Nobody's perfect, right? They don't come, like I said, they don't have manuals either. They do the best thing they can. So, but this is giving like, there's a part of you inside that is still looking for some type of nurturing energy, acceptance, wanting approval, right? Maybe even of a father figure. It's giving strong, like, no mothering energy, no, that nurturing energy. It's like very authoritarian and a lot of, oh, boys will be boys and boys don't this and boys show up as this and you need to be this, son. It's giving that kind of energy. So it's giving like almost, yeah, it feels like it's not a lot of feminine energy. Doesn't feel like a lot of feminine energy. Interesting. Doesn't feel like any nurturing at all. It feels very stifled, flat, cold. There's no cup energy. None. I don't feel that in this energy. But that's exactly what you need. You get to the root of it and realize you don't need their acceptance. And it's like recognizing you are whole, you are worthy, you are complete, just you. You don't need anybody to tell you that. But in order to because you didn't get that growing up, it's very hard to give that to other people. But the only way that you can get that now is by opening yourself up and being vulnerable. And yeah, it's scary as hell. But if you open yourself up and allow others to do that for you, and you return that, you reciprocate that energy authentically, those kind of like empty tree roots, from childhood that are embedded in you, and that's what you grew up on. Your tree of life is kind of based on this very hard, empty energy. And it ends up giving you a rocky foundation for when you grow up. It sucks, but it's the truth. So yes, now we have to fix ourselves when we grow up and try to do better for, our kids, next generation. So you've got to open yourself up and allow somebody in and allow them to nurture you and you nurture them. It's that equal give and take, that being there, doing for others what wasn't done for you, listening, being present, allowing others to have a voice. They reciprocate that. And if they don't, well, then it's an F no and you move on. But it's like they will reciprocate that. When you get that back and forth energy and those tree roots become nourished, and fed, there's growth. And then the tree becomes fruitful. You get what I'm saying? Obviously, this is very, in analogies and metaphorical. I'm trying to get you to picture what I'm saying, but it's like things become fruitful that way. And it's like you can understand. It's recognizing that we're all human. We make mistakes, right? Your parents raised you like they were raised. That's what they have to go on. It's accepting that and kind of meeting them where they're at now and showing up as you authentically, not as they want you to be, not as you think you should be to get their acceptance. Nope. It is showing up as you, whether they like it or not, because you don't need their acceptance. So I don't know. This is giving a heavy family's not always blood vibe. Sometimes those that should make us feel safe, and nurture us are not. And oftentimes strangers come into our lives and end up being that for us. So, but underneath everything, the only thing, like I said, the only thing that's going to make everything grow is water. Water is the cup's energy. That is emotional energy. Love. Love is the strongest energy in the world. It's the undercurrent for everything. You want growth? There has to be authentic emotion. That means you got to make yourself vulnerable. So, and you've got to be authentic. All you have to do is be you. That's the great thing about it, is it doesn't take a lot to get on your path, to be aligned with your purpose, you just have to be yourself. Once you embrace your authenticity and who you truly are, and you stop doing things for the approval of others, you get grounded, you get in alignment, you are you, right? That opens up your creativity, your thinking. It frees up, it kind of fills in a lot of holes. It nurtures us at our root, and it kind of, it flourishes on its own because the love energy is so strong. You kind of turn into the Empress energy where things just kind of flow to you. You don't have to chase anything. You end up attracting it. But you've got to be nurturing. Love is not a single energy. It's a collective energy, right? You give love to get love. That's how you attract abundance. We are not meant to do here things on our own. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to be in a partnership, right? Because we can love our friends and all that. We're not doing it alone. And I don't know, somebody needs to hear that, because it's like someone is living a lie or a false life or a very empty, because somebody's not living as they truly are. It feels like you think you are, but there's a lot of holding back and a lot of not being truly vulnerable, not being truly open. Very fixed. It's a very fixed mindset. Like I said, it's that cold. Like that's the mindset right now. So I don't know, Capricorn. That's what I have for you. I hope it helps someone. And if this isn't your energy, but you know somebody who's going through this, then maybe what I've said can help. You know, I don't know. Share the video with them or use what I've said to kind of help them through it, nudge them in the right direction. You know? But yeah, that's what I have for you guys today. And until next time, be a good human, give the day good you. Love y'all. Bye.